10-0. We'll leave it on call for other members to vote. I wanted to this time call for a motion on the consent calendar. There's 8 items. They're in your indicated on the agenda with an asterisk. Those item 4, 16, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, and 24. And we have a motion for that. Call the roll, please, on the consent calendar, please.
Bell.
Aye.
Bell, I. Canella. Allen. Aye. Allen, I. Bates. Bates, I. Gaines. On the
consent calendar.
Gaines, I. Galgiani. Galgiani, I. Leyva. Leyva, I. McGuire. McGuire, I. Mendoza. Mendoza, I. Roth. Roth, I. Wachowski. Wachowski, I. 10-0 on call.
That's 10-0. We'll leave it open for other members to vote.
Okay. So we'll lift the call for Senator McGuire.
We'll lift the call for Senator McGuire on his items, so he can.
And whoever else is.
And whoever else needs to vote on these items.
File item 2, AB 40 by Assemblymember Ting. The motion is do pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. We need a motion.
So moved.
Bell.
Aye.
Bell, I. Canella. Allen. Allen, I. Bates. Bates, no. Gaines.
Item 2.
No.
Gaines, no. Galgiani. Oh. Gaines, no to I. Galgiani. Galgiani, I. Leyva.
Aye.
Leyva, I. McGuire.
Aye.
McGuire, I. Mendoza.
Aye.
Mendoza, I. Roth.
Aye.
Roth, I. Wachowski.
Aye.
Wachowski, I. So that's 9-1 on call.
9-1. We'll leave that on call for other members to vote. Okay.
File item 3, AB 210 by Assemblymember Gatto. We need a motion.
So moved.
The motion is, actually, we already have a motion. Thank you. Sorry.
Retract it.
My mistake. The motion is do pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 8-0. You're okay. Allen. File item 3.
It's item 3, Mr. Gatto's HOV lane bill.
Allen, I. Mendoza.
Aye.
Mendoza, I. Roth.
Aye.
Roth, I. That bill is out 11-0.
That bill is out 11-0.
File item 5, AB 223 by Assemblymember Daly. The motion is do pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. We actually need a, we have one on this one. Senators Canella.
Aye.
Canella, I. Allen. Aye. Allen, I. That's out 11-0.
That is out 11-0.
File item 6, AB 235. The motion is do pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 9-1. Canella.
Aye.
Canella, I. That bill is out 10-1.
That bill is out on 10-1 vote.
File item 8, AB 400 by Assemblymember Alejo. We need a motion.
Move bill.
The motion is do pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. Bell.
Aye.
Bell, I. Canella.
Aye.
Canella, I. Allen.
Aye.
Allen, I. Bates. Bates, no. Gaines. Gaines, no. Galgiani. Galgiani, I. Leyva. Leyva, I. McGuire.
Aye.
McGuire, I. Mendoza.
Aye.
Mendoza, I. Roth. Roth, I. Wachowski.
Aye.
Wachowski, I. So it's 9-2, it's out.
9-2. That bill is out.
File item 9, AB 605. The motion is do pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 8-0. Allen. Bates. Roth. Aye. Roth, I. So that bill is out 9.
Did he vote?
He stayed off.
No, wait a minute.
Wait,
No, Allen.
No. What was that?
Allen. AB 605. Got him. Number 9.
Okay. Sarah Allen, did you vote on that? Yeah. Okay, that's all right. Okay. Go ahead. Call the next one.
This one or the
Next one.
Okay. Do you want to replace the call on this one?
Yeah.
Or do you want
That bill will be on call for other members to vote.
File item 10, AB 643 by Assemblymember Nazarian. The motion is do pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 7-0. Allen.
Aye.
Allen, I. McGuire.
Aye.
McGuire, I. Wachowski.
Aye.
Wachowski, I. Roth. Roth, I. That's out 11-0.
That bill is out on 11-0 vote.
File item 11, AB 652 by Assemblymember Cooley. The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 6-0. Allen? Allen, I. Bates? McGuire? McGuire, I. Roth? Roth, I. Wachowski? Wachowski, I. That's out 10-0.
That bill is out on a 10-0 vote.
And file item 14, AB 914 by Assemblymember Brown. The motion is due pass as amended and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 6-0. Allen? Allen, I. Bates? McGuire? McGuire, I. Roth? Roth, I. Wachowski? Wachowski, I. So that bill is out 10-0.
The bill is out on a 10-0 vote.
Yes, we did.
Can you do the consent calendar?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman?
We, consent calendar.
On the consent calendar, the current vote is 10-0. Canella?
Aye.
Canella, I.
Okay.
That's out 11-0.
That's out on an 11-0 vote. Okay. Okay, we're catching up with things here. We'll go to item 13. Assemblyman Das Williams is up, and that's AB 682. And welcome. You
Good
have the floor.
afternoon, Mr. Chair. Just want to thank you and your staff for working with my office on this bill. This bill provides a narrow exemption to the permit requirements for alterations to mobile homes to ensure smooth implementation of the mobile home park utility upgrade program. This is a program established by the PUC. It's a voluntary 3-year pilot program which authorizes each California IOU to convert 10% of master metered gas and or electric mobile home park spaces within its operating territory to direct utility service. Currently, to participate in the program for mobile homes, the law requires construction permits. And of course, this is kind of an issue because if a homeowner has a homeowner needs current title or proper paperwork certifying their ownership to get a construction permit, and many of these residents just simply do not have such a thing. Yeah. And we do not want to stop those mobile home owners from being able to participate in a utility pilot because of that. This provides that narrow exemption to the title requirements for a mobile home when a utility makes electric and gas system upgrades. And it will address the issue of the utility transfer pilot program not being implemented due to lack of current and proper documentation while expediting the utility upgrades to mobile homes. Okay. With me today is Catherine Borg, representing the Western Manufactured Housing Communities Association.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Assemblyman. Witness, please.
Catherine Borg with the Western Manufactured Housing Communities Association. We're in sponsor of the bill. We have a great opportunity here to transfer 10% of our spaces back to the serving utilities and have the residents directly served by those utilities. This bill helps with the process because some of the homeowners do not carry the current title on their home. So we want to expedite it with not requiring that to get fixed ahead of time. So we ask your support of the bill.
Okay, thank you. Can we have other witnesses in support? Do we have witnesses opposing this bill? Please come forward. I see none. Questions? There's a motion on this bill. No questions? No questions? Would you like to close?
Just respectfully ask for a vote.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Communications. Bell?
Aye.
Bell, I. Canella?
Aye.
Canella, I. Allen? Allen, I. Bates? Bates, I. Gaines? Gaines, I. Galgiani? Leyva? Leyva, I. McGuire? Mendoza? Mendoza, I. Roth? Roth, I. Wachowski? Wachowski, I.
That bill has a 9-0 vote. We'll leave it on call for other members to vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Senators.
Do you want to open the roll for Canella to vote since he has to leave on these 2 items?
Yes, we'll open the roll for 2 remaining items.
AB 40 by Assemblymember Ting. The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 9-1. Canella?
Aye.
Canella, aye. So that's out 10-1.
That bill is out on a 10-1 vote.
File item 7, AB 349 by Assemblymember Gonzalez. The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Judiciary. The current vote is 10-0. Canela?
Aye.
Canela, aye. That's out 11-0.
That bill is out on 11-0 vote. We'll go on to item 12 now. This is AB 668. Senator Gomez, you're here. And welcome, and you have the floor to present your bill. Property tax assessment, affordable housing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Senators. AB 668 will ensure equity for low-income homeowners to afford not only their mortgage payments, but also their property tax bill. AB 668 will allow a county assessor to consider certain long-term affordability deed-restrictions when valuing a property for property taxes if specific conditions are met. The bill before you today serves as an important purpose. Currently, there is a wide variance between cities and counties when assessing the value of affordable homes. While some assessors consider the recorded contracts and deed restriction between low-income homeowners and nonprofit organization, other assessors choose not to and instead assess these homes at the fair market value. This is especially burdensome for a low-income household that is restricted from spending more than 30% of its income on its monthly mortgage, which includes property taxes. AB 668 provides a simple remedy to this discrepancy by encouraging consistency among local property tax assessors throughout the state. I have worked closely with the assessors to include strict conditions or requirements that narrow the application of the bill to nonprofit corporations that have received a welfare exemption from the Board of Equalization. This contract between the homeowner and nonprofit must also include a finding by the local housing authority or an equivalent agency that the minimum 30-year restrictions serve a public purpose. Ultimately, this bill would assist hardworking low-income families afford their mortgage payments, increase access to affordable housing, and create opportunities for homeownership in California. I have a few witnesses to speak in support of the bill.
Thank you. Witnesses, please.
Mr. Chair and Committee, Holly Fermini on behalf of Habitat for Humanity California. It's the state association that represents all 47 different affiliates throughout the state. And just two more important things to note are that some of our affiliates, including the East Bay Silicon Valley affiliate, do build in multiple jurisdictions. And in that affiliate specifically is building in 3 counties. And in addition, we have several housing studies, not just for Habitat, but that prove that home ownership opportunities within the community do not depress the values of the local property values in the area, and actually in most cases increase the values in some areas. So we urge and respectfully request your aye vote.
Marina Wyan on behalf of the California Housing Consortium in strong support.
Okay, thank you. Other witnesses in favor, please? Do we have opposition to this bill? Please come forward. We'll say. All right.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair.
Everybody. We welcome everybody to this committee.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Rob Grosskauser with the California Assessors Association. The technical amendment noted in the analysis is actually a very important one, although technical to the assessors, ensuring that we have the information to do our job. If you combine that amendment with the prior amendments that the author has taken in the bill already, we are on the road to neutrality, and we thank the author for working with us. We'll be reconsidering our position on this bill next Monday, and we'll be encouraging them to move to a neutral position. Thank you.
And you accept those amendments?
Yes,
as part of the motion?
correct. It's a long road, but we're
Okay, other questions from the committee? We have no other opposition. Senator Allen.
I just want to mention that I think it's commendable that you're working closely with the Assessors Association. They're providing a really important service to our counties, and you've got a very commendable goal. I know sometimes it's easy to just ram through, but I want to thank you as someone who's considering this, both the affordable housing and equity concerns that I think are at the heart of your bill, while also the critical local government functionality goals that I think the assessors care about. So I just want to take a moment to say how much I appreciate, as one person has to vote on these kinds of things, you're working with the opposition on this.
Okay.
And let me add that the assessors from very early on expressed some concerns regarding the bill. And that's what I kind of appreciate, when you have opposition or stakeholders that actually state their concerns early and not wait to the second house or to, by the time it gets to the governor's office to show some concern. So I appreciate the assessors.
He's looking for perfection.
For helping out. Thank you so much.
Okay, we have a motion We have a motion on this bill. Would you like to close on this? Senator, would you like to make a close?
I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you very much for very much for working with our nonprofit housing providers, and I think the state needs to do a lot more for them. Thank you. Let's call the roll, please.
The motion is to pass as amended and refer to the Committee on Governance and Finance. Bell?
Aye.
Bell, I. Cannella? Aye. Cannella, I. Allen? Allen, I. Bates? Bates, I. Gaines? Gaines, I. Galgiani? Leyva? Aye. Leyva, I. McGuire? Mendoza? Roth? Aye. Roth, I. Wykowski? Aye. Wykowski, I.
Okay. Thank you. 8-0 on call. We're on call with an 8-0 vote. We'll ask the remaining members to vote. And
Thank you, Senator.
okay. Let's see. Assemblyman Daly is here. Item 15. We're going in order. If you got there 5 seconds later, I would have called on Assemblymember Chu. So
thank you.
Way it goes.
I appreciate it very much.
You just edged him out. Okay, we'll take up item 15. This is AB 999, mobile homes, and this is salvage and disposal.
Appreciate
you have the floor.
Apologies to my colleague, Mr. Chu. This bill allows landlords to dispose of abandoned mobile homes fairly and equitably. When mobile homes are abandoned, they often have little to no value. Unfortunately, the owners of these properties frequently owe back taxes. In order to dispose of abandoned mobile homes, the managers of a mobile home park must, under current law, pay the delinquent taxes owed by the previous owner. This obligation often hampers or prohibits a landlord from disposing of a property which is either unsightly or poses a hazard or health risk to nearby residents. AB 999 fixes this problem by ensuring that a delinquent taxpayer remains responsible for the property taxes. At the same time, my bill maintains the stringent regulations and judicial proceedings associated with disposal of abandoned mobile homes. With me today is Catherine Borg, representing the Western Manufactured Housing Communities Association, sponsors of the bill.
Thank you. Thank you. And Catherine, you have the floor.
Catherine Borg with the Western Manufactured Housing Communities Association. I'd like to just reiterate what the author said, is that it does not change the process in which we actually get to the ownership of the home. It just changes what happens after we have that ability. And as you can imagine, everybody hates paying property taxes or taxes, and we sure hate to pay somebody else's tax obligation to just junk and dispose of the home. So that's what this bill has to do with. And I can answer any questions that you may have.
Okay. Any further witnesses in favor? Are there witnesses opposing this bill? And I see none. I have a motion to approve the bill. Are there questions?
I have a question.
Senator Wachowski.
So I'm concerned about the shifting of the burden to the county. I mean, because you have a secured lien on that property, and I understand the mobile home management wants to get rid of it. So they, under the currently, they pay that tax, that personal tax, and then they have the lot they're free to rent it. And then they actually can go after that homeowner, wherever that homeowner would be, or the former homeowner, I guess, because it's been salvaged, to get reimbursed.
I can answer that question if you'd like. So under tax law, the way it is, mobile homes that are in a manufactured housing community are pieces of personal property. Right. They are not real estate. So the taxes don't go to the underlying land. As a matter of fact, it's much easier for the county tax collector in this situation as it would be. The tax would still remain on the rolls as an unsecured tax as it is currently. So if that person, even after we've gotten rid of that home, that person would still be liable to pay the tax.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. I don't.
So whenever we have an issue with evicting somebody, or we end up getting this home in abandonment, we never are able to get this person to pay their back due money to us. So the tax collector actually does have a much better probably collection rate to get this back taxes than we ever would.
But isn't the value to the mobile home park not the not as was indicated in the analysis, the lien or the value of the scrap aluminum, wherever it is, it's that space. Because in many times in the operation, the park owner gets to pay the current going rate, right? I mean, I assume that if it's a dilapidated mobile facility or mobile unit, right, home. Then it's old, and they've been there a while, and it's disintegrated. So they're at a lower rate when they came in, because most cities restrict the increases of mobile home spaces, so that you get the benefit to the park owner is that they get the 2015 rate, which is a motivation for them to get rid of it, right?
It would really depend on the location in which you're talking about as far as the home. And if the home actually had value, the mobile home park owner would actually take it and resell it, pay those past property taxes, and possibly rent it out themselves. But what we're talking about here, and I don't want to make you think that this happens a lot, but it's a very narrow thing that happens. We're talking about homes that are in a condition that they can't be occupied. They're not worth rehabbing. They cost more to dispose of them as kind of like our junk than it is, eventually to, rehab them. So what we're talking about is we don't want to pay taxes on something that we're going to be junking. It's kind of adding insult to injury. Somebody's left their piece of property here. We have to pay for a disposal company to come in and take that home and dispose of it. We also have to pay another company to upgrade the space and prepare it for a brand new home. If we are going to put a new home on there, we have to assume that risk of buying a new home, that somebody is actually going to purchase it for the cost or the price that we actually purchased it. And whereas you might think we're making a lot of money off of this, we just came off of a recession where, people were leaving their homes and we couldn't sell them for anything. And the way that the lending laws are out there now, we can't lend our own money for somebody else to buy this home. So we're kind of in a really, bad situation. And this is a very, very narrow exemption, and this does not happen that often. We just don't want to have to pay somebody else's property tax, which remain on the books, and the county tax collectors can still collect them, to get rid of this home and make that space available to somebody else.
Okay, thank you. Other questions? Okay, we have a motion on the bill. Would you like to close?
I appreciate the question, and I respectfully request an aye vote.
Okay, thank you. And we'll call the roll.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Judiciary. Bell?
Aye.
Bell, I. Cannella. Allen? Allen, I. Bates? Bates, I. Gaines? Gaines, I. Galgiani? Leyva? Leyva, I. McGuire? Mendoza? Roth? Roth, I. Wachowski.
You have 6 votes.
Thank you very much.
Magic number.
I appreciate you.
We'll leave it on call for other members to vote.
Thank you again.
We'll call up our David Hsu, and who just barely got edged out there. And you have the floor.
Thank you.
This is AB 1096, item 17, electric bicycles.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and Senators. I appreciate your consideration of AB 1096, which would modernize outdated state laws that govern electric bicycles and clarify where e-bikes can travel. I first want to thank the committee and staff for suggesting clarifying amendments that we made last week in advance of today's hearing. Current law has a default prohibition against e-bikes in our state. The rules of the road for these bikes have not been clear, and Californians have been slow to replace car trips with e-bikes. Most electric bicycles are designed to behave exactly like regular bicycles. They're just easier to pedal for people, especially for those who don't own a car, commuters riding longer distances, parents with young children, seniors, and people with disabilities. Since 5 e-bikes can fit in the space of a car, e-bikes reduce traffic congestion and air pollution, better use existing transportation infrastructure, and are good for public health and our environment. Our legislation will encourage the safe use of e-bikes by introducing more detailed definitions for these bikes, providing clear rules on how they're equipped and operated, and permit local authorities to impose additional restrictions where appropriate. AB 1096 was crafted with all relevant stakeholders and received a 74-0 vote in the Assembly. And with that, I respectfully ask for your support.
Okay. Witnesses in favor.
On. Hi, Chair and members. Jeannie Wardwaller with the California Bicycle Coalition. We work to increase bicycling for the health, safety, sustainability, and prosperity of all the communities in California, and we're sponsors of AB 1096. Bicycling has doubled since 2000 in the state of California and continues to grow. Caltrans, in its recent strategic plan, aims to triple bicycling statewide again in the next 5 years because they realize the multiple benefits that would bring to the residents of California. Electric bicycles are key to achieving these goals and provide another transportation option to Californians that is clean, sustainable, affordable, healthy, and more accessible to people that face challenges riding a traditional bicycle. The e-bike market is growing and helping to refine battery technology to provide even more efficient means of transportation. AB 1096, by defining and clarifying the types of e-bikes in the vehicle code, is a critical step in getting more people bicycling and getting more of these clean vehicles on the street. We think e-bikes are a terrific travel option. They contribute to many of California's transportation goals, and AB 1096 is an important step. I ask for your aye vote.
Okay, thank you. Do we have other witnesses in favor? Okay, we have opposition. Any opposition? I see. Now we have questions. Senator Allen.
Okay, two things. First of all, thank you. Whenever I see Senator Chu, I just want to say, go Dodgers. And second of all, the only other thing I wanted to ask was...
We can go on a bike trip between AT&T Park and Dodger Stadium.
Dodger Stadium, right, okay. Because I'm...
Why don't you go see the trophy in our park? You know.
I think we're up by
Chairman said it, not me.
You want to see the trophy? Come up to our...
As someone who cares a lot about history...
Which trophy is that, Senator Bell? Which of the three?
Well, I don't know. I mean, take your pick.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think we still have quite a few more trophies, but I will say, I just want to clarify one thing with regards to the bill. Unlike another bill involving electric motorization that goes up to 20 miles an hour, is it right that this is not permitted to be riding these things on the sidewalk at 20 miles an hour?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
So it doesn't change any of those laws, but it does clarify when e-bikes can be on bike paths and when they cannot be on bike paths.
Okay, thank you so much.
You know, when I looked at the bike path issue, I was concerned about elderly disabled people walking along bike paths. We have some bike paths. There's a lot of walkers. Some of who are disabled. Others don't have limited hearing, for example. So you allow the local authority to make decisions on those safety issues. Is that correct?
That is correct. In fact, we work closely with the relevant interests that represent cities and counties to ensure that there was very much local ability to control that. Our bill says that for the slower bikes, these bikes can be used on bike paths unless local authorities decide otherwise. But for faster electric bikes, local authorities need to provide their approval.
Yeah, and I had another question. The bill doesn't address this, but do you think that with the electric bikes being allowed or permitted, not allowed, but permitted on bike paths, that we ought to look at standards for local bike paths in terms of the width, safety, other kinds of provisions that would segregate these kinds of paths in terms of the people on them, in terms of safety? Like the width or segregating area, the lanes, that kind of thing? Is that something that's being looked at by somebody relative to those issues?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. California Bicycle Coalition works closely on those issues with Caltrans and other agencies. Class 1 multi-use paths for now do have standards, and I think with the more proliferation of e-bikes, we could definitely, look at those standards and see if they need to be evaluated. At this time, we don't think so. They don't operate that differently from traditional bicycles that travel at roughly the same speed as these e-bikes. So we don't think
there's need for that, but we absolutely could look at that issue in the future.
Yeah, I think that's something that I would like to see maybe down the road. I'll just make that comment.
Great.
That if we're going to start allowing 28-mile-an-hour maximum bikes, in some of the paths, but even though the local authority gets to decide whether or not they're allowed, I think we ought to be very careful and cautious about safety issues.
And just to clarify, the default for this bill, those higher speed bikes that are up to 28 miles per hour are not allowed on the Class 1 paths unless the jurisdiction opts in.
Right.
So the e-bikes only up to 20 miles per hour are allowed on the Class 1 paths.
Okay. We have a motion. Call the roll, please. Or do you have a close, please?
I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you.
The motion is do pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. Bell?
Aye.
Bell, I. Cannella. Allen? Aye. Allen, I. Bates? Aye. Bates, I. Gaines? Gaines, I. Galgiani? Leyva? Leyva, I. McGuire? Mendoza? Roth? Roth, I. Wachowski? Wachowski, I.
We have 7-0 vote, and it will be placed on call for other members to vote.
Thank you, Senators.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we'll go on to item 21. Assemblymember Lopez is here. This is AB 1448, energy conservation. So you have the floor, Assemblywoman.
Yes.
And welcome.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Today I'm pleased to present to you AB 1448. This bill allows all Californians to hang their clothes and dry rags, clothesline, or similar device. Today more people are looking different ways to use less energy and to save money. This bill will make sure that residents have the right to dry their laundry outside without fear of being asked to move from where they live right now. This bill would not allow the tenants to damage the property or clotheslines out of the personal space. Here with me, I have two witnesses in support.
Thank you. Witnesses in favor of the bill, please.
Yes.
Mindy Spat with TURN, the Utility Reform Network. We've been representing California utility consumers for over 40 years. I want to thank the chair and the members for your time and attention today, and also thank Assemblywoman Lopez for the bill. This is a bill with no downside whatsoever. It only has benefits for consumers. The benefits are lower energy bills, fewer shutoffs, avoided kilowatt hours, which means fewer power plants and less strain on the system, reduced emissions, very much in accordance with the goals of AB 32, and the personal freedom to line dry should you choose to. However, under current law, this very affordable means of accessing solar power and reducing consumption is actually unavailable to millions and millions of Californians on their own property or in their own apartments. While we ignore this low-cost, low-tech solution, we're spending billions on high-cost and high-tech solutions of dubious benefits, things like smart meters, solar panels largely available to wealthy homeowners, and a very expensive and complex plan of carbon credits. Senators, California prides itself on being a leader in energy efficiency, but Florida, Vermont, Hawaii, Colorado, Maine, even Utah is ahead of us on this. So is most of Europe, even England, where it's cold and foggy, and yet just over 50% of people there have dryers, whereas it's 85% in our country. When it comes to reducing our carbon emissions and lowering our energy usage, we need leadership, not limitations. That's why we are strongly in support of this bill.
Thank you. Other witnesses, please. In favor.
Yeah, Ignacio Hernandez, also here on behalf of TURN in case there are any technical questions.
Okay.
Carrie Mazzoni for the
educational community of homeowners. I'm happy to be up here today and not be opposing a bill that has to do with homeowners associations. We originally had an oppose unless amended. We have been very active with the author's office and very pleased with the work they've done with us on it, and we have removed our oppose unless amended to a neutral position. I'm very pleased with the amendments. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Chairman Bell, Skip Dom again with the Community Associations Institute, associating my remarks with that of the previous speaker, that we're not going to get too hung up or hung out to dry on this bill any longer. We like the latest amendment, so I'll officially remove our opposition. We may have one technical tweak, but that's not a policy issue, so
thank you.
They're off the bill.
Gil Tupidi with the California Municipal Utilities Association, representing 40 of the state's publicly owned electric utilities in support.
Okay, other witnesses, please.
Dennis Garcia on behalf of the Consumer Federation of California in support.
Okay.
Brenda Diaz with the Latino Coalition for Healthy California in support.
Thank you. Do we have other witnesses in favor of this bill? If not, do we have opponents? Are there any opponents to this bill? Do we have questions of the author for anybody? I see none. Can we have a motion, please? We have a motion on this bill. Assemblywoman, would you like to make a close, please?
Yes, I just respectfully asking for your aye vote.
Thank you. And we'll call the roll, please.
The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Judiciary. Bell?
Aye.
Bell, aye. Canella? Allen? Aye. Allen, aye. Bates? No. Bates, no. Gaines? Aye. Gaines, aye. Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. Leyva? Aye. Leyva, aye. McGuire? Mendoza? Aye. Mendoza, aye. Roth? Aye. Roth, aye. Wachowski? Aye. Wachowski, aye.
We have 8 votes in favor, 1 opposed. That bill is out. Okay.
Thank you.
Do we have any other? We'd like to lift the calls at this time.
File item 9, AB 605 by Assemblymember Gatto. The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 9-0. Allen? File item 9.
We're lifting the calls on item AB 605. Lifting the calls on all the bills right now.
Bates? Okay, that's it. 9-0.
That bill will be out 9-0.
File item 12, AB 668 by Assemblymember Gomez. The motion is due pass as amended and refer to the Committee on Governance and Finance. The current vote is 8-0. Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. McGuire? Mendoza? Aye. Mendoza, aye. So that bill is out 10-1. I mean 10-0.
That bill is out on a 10-0 vote.
File item 13, AB 682 by Assemblymember Williams. The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Energy, Utilities, and Communications. The current vote is 9-0. Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. McGuire? That's out 10-0.
The bill is out on a 10-0 vote.
File item 15, AB 999 by Assemblymember Daley. The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Judiciary. The current vote is 6-0. Canella? Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. McGuire? Mendoza? Mendoza?
Oh, aye. Sorry.
Mendoza, aye. Wachowski? So that's 8-0.
That bill is out on an 8-0 vote.
And file item 17, AB 1096 by Assemblymember Chu. The motion is due pass and refer to the Committee on Appropriations. The current vote is 7-0. Canella? Galgiani? Galgiani, aye. McGuire? Mendoza?
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. So that's out 9-0.
That bill is out on a 9-0 vote.
That's it.
With that, we will adjourn the Transportation Housing Committee.